It's the overrated and expensive event that no one really enjoys, the Stag or Bachelor weekend. Let's look at why you will eventually avoid them, like me. Now, I'm not sure how the last send-off is done in other countries, so I'll stick to how us guys waste our money here in the UK. You are at home one day when you receive notification from someone you know that he has abandoned his mental faculties and decided to get married. Now, the first few stag weekends you attended were not too bad, even though the standard arrangement is that you don't know anyone there except the groom-to-be or stag, and so you sit there with a fixed grin, unable to find anything actually funny because you don't understand all the in-jokes and references. So what begins with any stag weekend is the endless moving around of dates to suit people, and guys dropping out at the last minute or being prevented from attending by their own wives. You will also become familiar with the best man and his timetable of planned fun for the weekend, something guaranteed to eliminate any joy or spontaneity. The weekend begins and you travel to the airport in a taxi in which the driver just won't shut up. You're pissed off already. At the airport, you meet some of the guys who have also agreed to come along for the weekend. You find yourself talking to one of them. "Hi, I'm Mike."
Hi, I'm Kelvin.
"So, how do you know Tony?"
I work with him.
"Oh, what sort of work do you do?"
I work for a corporate branding company.
"Right, so how long have you worked there?"
About 7 years. I began in the admin department and I was there for 3 years, then moved on to my existing role as deputy team administrator.
"Ah, so do you like what you do?"
Well, we are the 4th largest corporate branding company in the country, and next year we're hoping to expand our client base,
etc. Pointless small talk that neither of you care about. You all drink too much on the flight over there, and the first thing that's needed is to get some dinner. Never mind the fact that recently you've been trying to eat sensibly, all that is now abandoned, as you find yourself in a questionable eating establishment, the kind of place where the cockroaches are so big they help you do the washing up. Moving on to a bar, you grab a beer and find the only seat available is next to that guy you were talking to at the airport. What was his name? Kevin? Ken? Hello again, it's Kevin, isn't it?
It's Kelvin.
So, how long have you worked at the corporate branding company?
About 7 years in total.
Is it a good company to work for?
I hope it could have some interesting opportunities.
So, is it far to travel to your workplace?
It takes about 35 minutes by car, sometimes 40.
Ah, and I guess it will depend on the time of day.
Yes, but usually it isn't too bad, and if I set off early I can make it in good time.
Blah blah. Inoffensive and inane chit-chat with people you don't care about. After many more drinks, you somehow find your way back to your hotel, and you wonder who you will be sharing your room with. Oh, for fuck's sake! The next morning, people are feeling rough. You're still tired from the day of travelling yesterday. In the hotel reception, the group are not saying much to each other. Who's this? The best man is here with a box, and that can only mean one thing. Yes, it's the tour t-shirts to take away any dignity you were hoping to retain on this trip. With everyone suitably attired, and the stag given a hilarious inflatable sheep, you set off. The first event of the planned fun is karting, an activity that might be okay if not for the fact that you're all nauseous from the night before. And there's always one asshole who takes it all too seriously. After that is the ritual humiliation of the stag, usually by dressing him up as a woman. The group are so desperate to find something to laugh at on this trip that this process almost takes on the form of bullying, in which the stag pretends to like it. The first bar of the day presents the stag with 1.4 litres of beer in a single glass, known as the Yard of Ale. This takes a while to consume, so you sit in silence watching him struggle with his oversized drink. Moving on, it's starting to get cold, because it's Latvia. Those t-shirts weren't such a good idea. Into another drinking establishment, this time so loud that you just stand there like a bunch of middle-aged idiots. Realising that you haven't wasted enough money yet, you are led to the inevitable strip club. Inside, the hostesses pretend to like you, and you pretend to enjoy it. Years ago, you might have got a small thrill because you might have believed that they were actually interested in you. But you are older and wiser now, and you know the score. Guys don't know how to act around strippers, and it's just awkward. The stage show begins and the girls go through the routine. You know what they are really thinking of you guys sitting there, and you glance at the stag and he realises that he will never have another sexual thrill again in his life. Walking back to the hotel in silence, this is usually when you inevitably lose a member of the group, usually the stag. Now it's Sunday morning in the hotel and the group is dying. One or two people make an effort to eat something. Nobody says anything. On the flight home, you hope that no one else you know is going to get married, or at least they won't compel you to go through all this again. When you get home, you notice that your own wife is less than thrilled about the whole weekend. At your workplace, your boss asks you which sites you managed to see. This can be embarrassing. Meanwhile, the stag examines the tattoo he doesn't remember getting, and his bride-to-be tells him that the weekend was the worst mistake of his life. Wrong. She is the worst mistake of his life. At my age, I have attended too many of these type of events, but I won't be any longer. Being able to say no is an important part of MGTOW, but the biggest reason I don't go is because no one invites me anymore. Whenever I am informed by a guy that he is tying the knot, instead of saying, "Hey, congratulations man," or something like that, my normal response is, "But why?" You have become MGTOW so that you won't have to oblige other people. Don't let anyone else waste your time, energy and money. Don't be this guy for 3 long days.